Hello and welcome to Bold Business Podcast. This is Ros Jones, and today I'm delighted to be joined by Helen Gibson MBE, international entrepreneur and speaker. Hello, Helen.
Hello, Ros. Lovely to see you and hear you. Thanks for inviting me.
It's an absolute pleasure following our talk the other day. So I just wanted to know, Helen, we were talking about your book that's due out in September, I believe. Do you want to tell us, is it your first book, how you came to write a book, what it's about? So off you go.
Thank you. And yes, it is my first book, and you're right, it's due out in September, so not long to go now. And the topic is, in fact, the title of it is Go For Goosebumps.
Oh, Goosebumps, wow. So I guess this is non-fiction?
Yes, it's effectively a self-development book, and it's around the topic of encouragement. And it's all drawn from my business experience of working on the front lines in health and justice.
Oh, wow. Okay. So health and justice, so this is public sector stuff you were talking about?
So predominantly public sector, but some charitable work and some working with companies in terms of that international development space, particularly. So,
Right.
yeah, so it's really extracting some of those gems and nuggets from those complex situations and bringing that into all together in a book.
And so when you talk about frontline, are you talking about working like with patients and people in prisons? Is that kind of thing?
Yeah, exactly that. So yes, very much patients, service users, carers on the health side, and of course staff, commissioners, etc. And then on the judicial side, yes, it's absolutely those that are offenders or those that are working in the criminal justice system through to governments, and yeah, a whole range of people that are working on the front lines in terms of those improvements.
Well, and it's about encouragement, it's about going for goosebumps. Can you elaborate, please?
Yeah. And essentially, in a nutshell, the Go For Goosebumps is the encouragement to all of us to go after the things that are going to give us those goosebump moments.
Give us a clue.
Sometimes those are going to be the slightly scary moments.
Right, okay, yeah.
Or obviously those really exciting moments that we will look back on and be the defining moments of our lives. So yeah, it's very much in that vein in terms of encouragement to go for goosebumps.
Okay, no, I love it. So it's encouraging people to stretch themselves, to get out of their comfort zone, to do more, be more.
Yeah, all of that was, and really to step into that power and thinking from a legacy point of view, we've all got limited time, resources, energy. Talents, and actually we really need to be grabbing those things that are really going to be the best things for us and our contribution in the world that is going to be the greatest that we can make. So yeah, absolutely.
I love that. And tell us more about, so you've worked internationally. So what does that mean?
Well, yes, in terms of business, we've had a family business which has grown, and particularly on the international side, and worked in almost 30 different countries, albeit not necessarily your honeymoon type destinations
Right, yeah.
or holiday destinations, but particularly countries that are developing countries, including those that are in a fragile or a conflict affected situation. So very much the work has been around improving lives, communities, and the services in those countries, particularly in the health and justice space.
Okay, so because I had a friend whose father worked in developing countries, doing things like putting roads down and things like that. Is it like infrastructure you're talking about? What kind of work? Did you help them?
No, it's very much been expertise,
Right.
taking specifically British expertise in some quite specialist niche areas. So, substance misuse,
Right.
dementia, counterterrorism, corruption. It's that expertise, but using that in a different country to be able to help develop their systems
That's
and
really interesting. So how did that work then? Did they approach you and say, can we have your help, please? We've got this problem. Or were you like a missionary going in there just to tell people about how you could help them? How did it work?
initially it started with our promotion in terms of this is what we can do, this is how we can help, and then over time it developed into word of mouth in terms of the business, with having one client recommending us to another client, and that build up of repeat business relationships. And to that extent, it became self-generating and sustaining. But yes, a combination over the years.
Yeah, that sounds really exciting. And so during this time, Helen, I do always like to ask my guests about a time of adversity that they had in their life and how they overcame it and the good that came out the other side. Do you have something like that you'd like to share?
Yeah, and I think there are so many of those pivotal moments that will serve as a platform for redirection, new growth,
Yeah, yeah,
and actually being able to extract the gold that comes from some of those most difficult times. So, yes, we've faced all sorts of challenges over the years, whether that has been from a personal point of view or from a business point of view. But I think my message on that would be, again, one of encouragement in terms of facing those challenges, whatever it might be for each and every one of us. It's going to be different, but to face those head on and to expect that out of those times, there is going to be something that is going to be really great for us to take away and learn.
And and I absolutely agree. How do you persuade somebody or encourage somebody in the moment of deep distress and darkness that actually there's going to be some gold on the other side?
And I think that is really difficult at times to do. Or one of the ways in which I've handled that has been something in terms of what I call a victories folder.
Right, I love that. Mhm.
Um, and to capture those victories that we have in the difficult situation and literally put them in a folder, write them down, save them, capture them in whatever way works for you, so that when we hit the next really difficult situation that we're facing, I then go back to open up that victories folder, remind myself of actually what had been possible to overcome previously, and that gives me confidence in terms of navigating that next challenge. So that won't work for everybody, but that's one of the ways that I think can be really helpful, because the evidence then is there. It's not just nice self-talk, or
Yeah,
it's very much looking at the evidence of
yeah,
past victories.
yeah. And what kind of, in terms of your work internationally and in this country, is that the kind of thing that you help people with?
It is, yes, and very much keen to not only share what I've learned and use that to help others, whether that is through the speaking that I'm doing in a professional capacity, or whether it's through my book or
Yeah,
the coaching that I'm doing, or some of the lecturing that I'm doing with universities. All of it is about sharing that and inviting people to see what is possible.
yeah,
And then with their own situations, thinking about, yeah, actually that might be possible, growing the business, internationalizing a business, or that personal development side in terms of confidence and encouragement for whatever might be next.
I have this thing where a lot of people I speak with, people I work with, will often, they're in business, as I'm a business coach, they're in business, things go really well, and then they dip. And then it's as if we often complain about the dips, expecting that actually happy and feeling good can only happen when everything is going smoothly. And I have a thing about, on a practical basis, I believe that actually life is never going to be all completely smooth. And actually, if it was, then we probably wouldn't bother changing. And so we wouldn't have that growth opportunity. But how do you help people? Or what advice could you give to people that actually it is a bumpy ride? It is up and then it's down, like this proverbial roller coaster. How do you help people just come to terms with that, and rather than feeling miserable when it's low and then just only being able to feel happy when everything's rosy?
And I think you get to the heart of it there, Roz, and it is a very bumpy ride. And I think it's right to expect that it is going to be bumpy. And part of my lens on that is to see that as part of the adventure.
Yeah.
And therefore to cultivate that sense of adventure. And certainly when we think about navigating change, navigating uncertainty, right through to crisis situations potentially, that can be very destabilizing and difficult to manage, especially on a long-term basis. And I'm someone that's always loved to travel and had that sense of adventure. And I think if you can frame things as an adventure, then it helps to make the ride more interesting.
I think that's interesting. I absolutely love that. So it needs to be called, I think your book should be Adventures with Helen, something like that.
That might be book number 2.
Yeah. But I think that, because the very word, I love going on adventures, and the very word just, for me anyway, it conjures up an image of like Enid Blyton kind of childish delight in life. And there is a thing, isn't there, when we're kids and you don't, I mean, you have times of adversity, what accidents and all sorts of things, but children, I don't know whether this is true. I'm just talking from my own experience, but it feels like children are more resilient, maybe more ready to go with the ups and downs. And then something happens that when we turn into this adult, which is where we spend most of our life, that everything changes. I don't know what you think to that.
And I think that's really interesting, and retaining some of that childish enthusiasm and ambition and fun is really important. And it's not always easy to find the fun and joy at times, but it's through that we get the innovation and energy and the passion, really. So it's absolutely essential, certainly in terms of talking about resilience and mental toughness and how we equip ourselves in the best possible way. I think finding a way of being able to tap into that childishness, that fun, that playfulness is one strategy.
Yeah. And how do you do that?
For me, all sorts of different ways. Time with the kids,
yeah.
and is always great. And then time with friends, particularly because I think some of our friends bring out the best of us and remind us perhaps of school days or some of those younger years. So, and any opportunity to re-energize in terms of doing fun stuff.
Yeah. I find skipping down the street helps.
Love it. And a bit of dancing as well, Ross.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I love it that you laugh a lot. I've noticed that you laugh a lot, Helen. So, and that's quite infectious, isn't it? So, I think if you can laugh easily, that maybe is quite a helpful tool as well to have in your pocket.
Yeah, and I think again it comes back to that sense of adventure and a sense of optimism. It's not always easy to cultivate it, but I think if we can be taking that positivity and using that and seeking out the joy and the fun and goosebump moments, then actually we've got a greater sense of enjoying ourselves, and that will shine through in terms of our demeanour and approach to work and life in general.
Yeah, I love that. Well, I hope that people are going to buy your book because it sounds like it could be that this could be life changing for so many people. I'm pretty sure if when people implement what you've suggested in your book, I'm very keen to get my hands on a book. And I have a book club, so maybe we'll have that as our book of the month.
Ah, yeah, well, that'd be super, Ross.
And you can
And
visit.
count me in. I'll come and sign a couple of copies. And
So, yes, but I want you to share. So, Helen, so I love the name of the book, as I've said. So, Go for Goosebumps. So, now I invite you to share a moment when you can recall getting those goosebumps. What happened? What caused?
and yeah, I mean, there's been many goosebump moments for me. I'll share one of them, which was we were commissioned to redesign and set up a new substance misuse treatment service for patients. We had an awards ceremony that was recognising those that had successfully come through their treatment journeys. And that was one that was so powerful in terms of literal transformation of lives and what that meant for people. So, that's one, but I could tell you 101 others.
Yeah, no, that is really powerful. That must have been wonderful to see, actually.
Mm. Oh, it is. And I think that's the driver in terms of thinking about impact and legacy and what is actually possible. And that's where it gets pretty exciting.
Yeah, and when you talk about encouragement, is this encouragement in every aspect of life for everybody, or is it, have you tailored it?
This is a free for all, yes. So it's not just geared towards business owners or geared towards women. There is something for everybody. It's got that broad appeal very deliberately. And I know that it's things that have been helpful to people over the years and things that I've used myself. So I know that it works
Yeah.
and there is something for everybody within that.
Yeah, it sounds fascinating. Where will we get it? Or I know we have to wait till September, but will we get it from bookshops, Amazon, direct from you?
I mean, I'll be able to share more details on that pretty soon, but yeah, certainly we will be able to buy it in shops or online, and I'll be able to get a sort of pre-order list out hopefully pretty soon.
Very exciting. And how long did it take you to write it?
The actual writing has been nearly a year and a half,
Right.
but it's material that has been generated, as I say, over many years from that business world. So it's really been the crystallizing, the pulling it together and getting it into a position where it is a coherent format and suitable for for publishing and getting it out there.
So
But
it's
yeah, it's a lengthy process and a lot that goes into distilling that. And
yeah, sure. So it's your
yeah,
life's work.
yeah. Well, I say it's only book number one,
That's
so
good.
book
Yeah.
number two might be easier.
Yeah. Well, I found my first book was very easy, and the second one I'm still working on. It's not flowed as easy, but I think everybody has a different experience. So there you are. I guess it depends also the challenges that you put in your way that will stop you doing it. But that's a crafty little thing that happens, isn't it?
And that's always the way as well, being able to actually focus and have
Yeah.
that dedicated time and to make it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, well done you. Congratulations for making it happen. Can't wait to see it. And thank you so much for coming on today and to share your story and what you've been up to. It's been fascinating speaking with you.
And thank you very much for having me, Roz, and look forward to speaking again soon.